business. You gotta audit your business. I'm asked so many times about whether I should, Adam, should I do this? Should I do this marketing strategy? Should I go in BNI, etc.? It always goes back to auditing your business all the time. And so we will dive into that today. Remember to go to geniusloanofficer.com, schedule a call today for the next 5 days, 5 business days after this podcast here is released. We will have a discount code of podcast if you sign up for coaching. The first 10 that sign up for coaching will get an additional 20% off, a huge discount. So, all right, so let's get into it today. geniusloanofficer.com, and listen, we'll get a strategy call going, see if we can help you, see if you're a fit. You have to be a fit for us as well. So it's not if you're trying to just get leads, that's not what it's about. It's a comprehensive business strategy that's got some really cool stuff in it that nobody else has, but we'll talk about that later. Let's get into the podcast because that's why you came on here, to learn, grow. I love it that you're doing that. Continue to learn and grow and dive into your business. So this is a huge topic because people, just don't audit their business. They say, well, BNI is one of those things where, should I do this BNI? And I don't know the answer to that question for you, but you have to audit your business. I'll take one example. I was in a BNI a few years back, and I got into it. They met every week from like 11:30 to 1, right in the middle, smack dab in the middle of the day, which was inconvenient. I'll try it. It's an hour and a half each week, which is roughly 6 hours a month, just over that for you mathematicians out there, but let's say 6 hours a month. And so that's a lot. Now, did I close deals from those interactions? I did. I made money. But when I looked at 6 months, because sometimes you have to give things time. You can't just say, hey, in a month, it didn't pay off. In 2 months, it didn't pay off, because relationships take time to grow, et cetera, especially in a BNI. You're having great relationships. They don't, at the time, maybe they didn't have anybody to refer, all those things. And of course, you can look at spider webs off from it, like they connect you with somebody else and then they give you a referral. So, but when I did all the webbing and I calculated what I was making, it was far less per hour when I was at a BNI than if I was to go and have that sit down individually with somebody, or do an event myself, or make calls. It was less than that number. And so I had to look at it and say, okay, is this something I should keep in my business? Can I take this 6 hours a month and place it somewhere else and make more money? Will it web off and, the way it's supposed to? When I mean web off, is just you connect with this person, they connect with this person, all this, and just webs, right? Which a lot of people don't use the webs. They use the interwebs, but they do not use the web effect. That just big spider web, because all of a sudden you start in the middle and boom, by the time it ends up you connecting all the dots and connecting all the webs, it's this huge network. But when I looked at all the webbing came from that, and I looked from the webbing that I would produce with 6 hours of different activities, I determined and audited my business in such a manner that I said, you know what, I'm going to walk away from that. And that's when it comes to leads as well. Leads, I tell you, people just miss this. Loan officers just miss this. And I think it's across, it's realtors miss it all the time. I always talk to realtors all the time about leads, and man, stop going just straight to in client. Well, like how much of a multiplier is that? But when you look at like leads, yeah, okay, well, I got the lead in and I can hand it off to a real estate agent. Yeah, possibly. However, I will say if you're just handing off leads, even if they're good and they're ready to go and they're fantastic, they got a 740 credit score, their ultimate client, and you're handing off to a realtor, that is great. However, if you don't have everything else lined up with that real estate agent, if you are not like in a real partnership with that agent, if you don't have the correct conversations with that agent, if you're just not having real emotional persuasion, trust and rapport, all that stuff, it doesn't matter if you hand off a great client or not. If you're trying to develop a relationship, by the way, with here, I got this great client I'm going to hand to you. We've never done business together. And you're not already solid, man, that could be a huge mistake. Can be. I'll say this is very, very risky, right? Business, because you may have been able to take that and give it to a partnership that was really solid. And they're kind of all of a sudden the next month, they're going to somebody else. And you could have given that to somebody because all of a sudden another agent's doing the same, or another loan officer is doing the same thing. Okay. Getting off on a tangent here. But when it comes to leads and auditing your business, people don't do a good enough. Real estate agents, loan officers, anybody in business a lot of times don't do a good enough job of really auditing that. Like how much time did it take? We get fooled, right? We get fooled because, and I've used this reference, I believe, before on this podcast, but when I was running a store and I had salespeople under me and I coached salespeople, some would be a high, which would mean they're high ticket and high conversion. And then there's all the way down to low ticket, low conversion. They are the bottom salespeople. That was over the course of like 3 months of data, of real hard data. Then you would look and all of a sudden, man, they would have a great week. And maybe they would have a subsequent good week after that. And you're like, man, they're fixed. And they weren't, because all of a sudden they just went right back to who they were, the low producer all the way. And so we do the same thing a lot of times with leads, right? Because, man, we got all these leads coming in and we're trying to work them and we're not getting any deals, viable deals. And all of a sudden one pops up, boom. All right, we're back in it, man. I cannot give up leads. I can't give up leads. No. Oh my gosh, Adam, you don't understand. Like, man, leads are good. I'm closing deals. And then you audit your business. And right now you can audit it. If you've been doing leads all this year, for example, you're halfway through the year. How many have you closed? Well, Adam, whatever. Adam, I've closed an average of 2 a month. I've closed 12 deals this year. Okay, awesome. That's great. That's really good for leads. Congratulations. You're probably losing a good lead person out there. I know a few. That's great. Okay, but how much time did you take to do that? Well, I was, because a lot of times your lead people are like, well, it's how much you call and follow up and everything else. And it's like, yeah, I get that. However, like, again, they're not the ones calling it a lot of times, and you're over there just burning up the phone. And now you've for those 12 deals, you realize like you've worked for 12 deals. You've maybe worked, on each deal, say you're averaging, 20 hours of work. Like, is that really worth it? Well, Adam, if you take that away, then it's always the whole takeaway, right? It's a fear. Well, if you take those 12 deals away, I've done, 30 this year. I only have 18. It's going to be hard for me to get by. Okay. But what could you do with that, all the extra time that you're spending on leads and wearing yourself out and making those frustrating calls? etc. So leads may be those things. And you're like, hey, Adam, I'm doing great on it. My ROI is good. I've got a virtual assistant following up. I've got the system doing okay. Most of the time, 99% of you doing leads, it's not the best way to run your, business. I don't believe any of it is, because there's so many systems you can, like we have a system going towards referral partners and gaining traction that way, which is huge, because those are multipliers. Those are people getting you multiple deals a year if you're going and you're helping them and you're getting in front of them the right way. You are having the correct conversation. You're reading body language. You're doing all those things when you're in a conversation with somebody that's going to help you exponentially grow in such a fashion that overnight it seems like, boom, you've just shot up. Whereas you can have the little blip growth because you're not auditing your business. How much time did that take? How much is my dollars per hour worth when I am doing this activity? So say you're doing leads and you end up saying, well, it's worth $200 an hour. But then when I sit down with the real estate agent, it's $500 an hour. Okay, so what do you think you need to do more of? Probably sit down with real estate agents. Okay, so we can go down a whole path of that, like why you don't do it. What's going on in your mind? What's short circuiting? I'm begging for a business. What do you think? You think you're doing anything different if you're calling leads all day? No, they filled out a thing. Yeah, a lot of times they filled it out just because they want to see a house. Okay, whole rabbit hole we can get down there, but you understand, like, you have to audit your business. If you're in a BNI, if you're doing some kind of networking event, if you have leads, if you are with a real estate partner as well, that's why you want to have a good referral tracker. And you go, okay, man, they're sending me a lot of stuff, but not a lot of them are closing. So I got to audit my business. Even if you have a team, you should be auditing, going, how much are we making out of that? They're sending us like 20 bad, just you can go, well, they're not bad. Okay, I'll stop myself before I even say it. There's no bad referrals, because, hey, you can help them if their credit's not good. I get that. We do that. However, still, you're not a junk pit either. Okay, you can't go, okay, well, I'm just going to let all this, filter this in. I'm going to try to happenstance. We're going to try to get these 500 credit scores up to where we need them to close them. Again, if you get them sent over, you should take care of people always and forever. That's not the message. However, you can't be people's junk pit. You have to know, these are the people, the partnerships I want to work with. I'm auditing how much money I'm making per hour when I'm doing this. If I'm hemorrhaging, if I'm putting out my team, and if you have a team and the team is just getting wore out doing all this, turnover can happen, right? You have turnover. All of a sudden people don't want to, work there. They're getting just burnt out. They go get another job. Like, all these things can happen, just like you're taking over. We talked about it last podcast is, I know this woman that's in, she's a loan officer, love her to death, great person, fantastic. But she takes on the most crazy deals that are just so flipping hard to get done. Guess what she's doing? It's like, it's not just on her. She's affecting the processors, the underwriters, everything. So if she audits her business and goes, how much time is this taking? How much time internally on dialogue that I'm having to lift myself up to make the next call because I'm taking on this stuff? I can't make my sales call because I'm just down in dumps because, oh my gosh, I took on another one that was just so hard. But then you're hanging on to the fact that, like, you closed one, okay, and good. And then it's like, it's kind of like they say women, right? Like, women have like this short memory when it comes to having a baby because it's bad, it's painful. And I don't know anything about it, obviously, but they say that after they have a baby, they almost, kind of put that pain behind them. and they never, that's why they're able to have another baby a lot of times, is what I've heard from, you know, the interwebs and all that stuff before, but they kind of put it behind them. And anybody I've actually spoke to, my wife included, that's kind of how it goes a little bit. You almost kind of put that in our past, right? So it's like, oh, it wasn't really that bad. And then a woman goes to have the next child and is like, oh, this is horrible. It's horrible, and pain, and I feel bad and bloated and everything else, right? We do the same thing in business, because a lot of times, like, it's horrible. They would close it. Oh, this sigh of relief happens. Man, we just got this good check on this one. I just got $2,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever it is, on this one deal. Oh, that's good. On to the next one. And then we do the same repeated cycle, because we're not auditing your business. We're not auditing your time. We're not auditing how much it's per hour, how much life it's sucking out of us. So we always train and coach, and on the G6 in Genius Loan Officer, be able to get all your stuff done in 6 hours and enjoy your time, enjoy your, vacations and all that. It's so many things that go into that. And this is one of those things, auditing your business, auditing your happiness. Am I happy with this partnership? Truly, this partnership give to me, not just deals, but if they're sucking the life out of me, like, how much is that costing me in happiness? And happiness correlates to also how many sales you can do. The happier you are, and more blissfully ignorant you are, and you're going through your next call or having your next meeting, when you're feeling confident and good and everything's going well, then you have better meeting, right? So I would just encourage you really to audit it all the way down. At least we should ever do it every month, at least. Then every quarter, halfway through the year, you're halfway through the year. At this recording, just over halfway through the year. And you can, audit what you've closed on certain categories with certain people. And think about, how happy were you? How enriched were you? How much, do you have angst when that real estate agent calls you and sends you one over? Do you have angst when you're calling those leads, or do you feel confident, really confident about when you're calling the right partnerships and sitting down with the right partnerships and diving into them and trying to help them grow their business? Like, audit it all the way down to that, and not just in dollars and cents and happiness, because when you do that, you're going to grow, you're going to be more confident, you're going to have just better sales. And so I think that's just lacking out there, that it's just all this grind mentality, right? You've been fed a bunch of lies out there by all these internet people, right? And the lie just keeps on perpetuating all the way down. Is just like this. I was scrolling through the interwebs on Facebook, and I see, a loan officer. She's talking about working 24/7, and I'm always interested in those comments, right? And so there's like 10 other comments under, you're right about that, you're right about that. And it was like real estate agents and loan officers. Really? Like, you're running the business the wrong way. Like, really? And you've been in the business for how long? 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? And you think like 24/7 is the way you should run your business? What a miserable time. Well, I love my job. Well, you can love your job and just blast through it. Don't act like you're working like 60 and 70 hours. You just love it in the loan officer space. If you do, great. Congratulations. You're the 1 out of the 100 that loves to do that. You should keep doing it. For you out there that don't, absolutely, I'm talking about love it, and you're not putting on a mask, which we're doing all the time, putting on these masks like, oh, we just love it, it's great, then maybe you should probably do some things to work smarter, unlock the genius in yourself. Do some things that are going to reduce your hours, increase your happiness. That can all happen when you're auditing all these things. You're going back in and you're like, Let's put pen to paper. Are they making me happy in a relationship? Is it me? Is it maybe I just not communicated right? Or maybe is it them that really just have a disconnect? Can we have a great conversation? It gets us there. Maybe if we can, fine. Then have the conversation. If we can't, let's move on. Is that BNI the best use of my time? Does it make me happy? Is it enriching me, enriching my life? That was the other thing about the BNI, by the way, is it was just, God, it was stale, right? It was like, get up and do your pitch. I don't want to hear your pitch every time. That was, for me, and I'm not saying BNI is not good, so don't come at me, because BNIs can be good, but there's a huge disconnect with me of just doing a sales pitch like every meeting. Hey, this is what I do, and this is my name. This is who to refer me. I mean, I know we need to tell people and have call to actions. Trust me, I get it. However, can we do it in a cooler way? Can we add value? So like even when they had me get up there, and it's always like they wanted to do almost a mini sales pitch, right? I was like, I'm not doing a sales pitch up here. Like my sales pitch, which is not a pitch because I do not like pitches, by the way, unless you're baseball and watching Jacob deGrom throw 105 miles an hour, like every pitch and hit the corners. It's crazy. If you're not a baseball fan, cool, great. But if you ever get to watch him, it's crazy. That's only pitching I like, right? Pitching, all this other, no. So I was like, I don't want to get up there and talk about and pitching, hey, use me for a loan kind of thing. And this is who no. You can interweave, and you have built trust, rapport, and emotional persuasion on just really showing all that value. So I got up there and helped people grow their business. I got up there and like freaking brought it, and people were like, holy crap, right? This was great. This is what we want. This helped me. That's what we want to do with these things, by the way, and be different. Like if I can continue to beat this drums, if everybody's zigging, you zag. And when people are just pitching, you don't pitch, don't do it. So I know that's a little off the auditing your business, but I get passionate about that stuff because I want you to succeed. If you're listening to this, I mean, this is my personal mission, that you succeed, whether you're a loan officer, real estate agent, financial planner, just an entrepreneur in general. I want you to succeed. I want you to take this. If you're a loan officer, you can directly apply these. If you're a real estate agent, you can apply these principles. If you're a financial planner, insurance agent, entrepreneur, whatever, run small teams, all that kind of comes, it's the same thing. But when it comes to auditing your business, really just continue to dial it in. Just, go one level deeper, one level deeper, one level deeper, and see what you need to do. Is it me that I need to, get better at this? Is it some self-talk that's going on? That's slowing me down. Maybe my dollars per hour is not as good when I'm calling people or calling real estate agents or sitting down with them, because maybe it's an internal dialogue that's going on that I'm not good enough, there's something that's, off the rails there. Maybe I need to work on that. Or maybe it's just, these activities are not the best activities I need to be doing, or they don't make me happy. And it's not really, I can work on my internal dialogue on that, on leads, for example. But at the end of the day, if it's not going to bring me as much value in partnerships with the right people. So we just audit it, go one step deeper, make sure that you audit your happiness, and you continue to be bold, and just have the right mindset to win every single day. So go to geniusloanofficer.com, schedule a call today if you want to us to have a conversation with you about increasing your business. We will not pitch you anything. If you're not a fit, we're going to tell you you're not a fit, and that's cool with us. We do, like I said, have a discount for just say podcast, and it will last for 5 days after this with a 20% off discount for that. So only for the first 10 that we sign up. So big, huge discount. If you're not going to sign up with us, it's cool with me. Again, I hope that you continue to enjoy this, apply it to your business. I love the messages I'm getting where people are applying. You know, you out there, if you ain't been applying it, guess what? There's somebody right next to you, basically, and probably the next same, maybe even the same city as you that is applying what they're learning here. Are you going to apply it? You're going to take massive action on it, or you're just going to sit there and just be a book junkie, a podcast junkie, an information junkie? You're just a junkie, but you ain't doing nothing with it, right? And that is a form of procrastination. So knowing is one thing, mastery is a whole different level. And I look forward to hearing the mastery that you have, that you bring out, the inner genius within yourself. You have it. You have those special talents. You have special talents that I've never had, and that's great. We all have those things. We're going to connect with different people in different ways. Use those abilities and just accentuate it. Work on that internal dialogue and absolutely take massive action. And you know the drill, guys. Limited risk equals limited income.